Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. The topic for today's session is CloudLocate, or positioning in the cloud. We have a full agenda, so let's get started. First, we'll make some introductions. That's me, Patty Feltz, there on the right, and I will be moderating our session today. And let me introduce our co-speakers. In the middle there is Hamed Siasi. He is technical sales or solution architect for our services team. And our main speaker today is Giovanni Solito. He is product owner for CloudLocate. In terms of our agenda, we will give an overview of IoT location as a service, then more of a deeper dive overview into CloudLocate, the supporting technology. Hamed will provide a demonstration, we'll review pricing, and have an opportunity to answer any questions with our experts. The usual housekeeping, please know that this webinar is being recorded and it will be sent to you automatically at the end of the session. The presentation will also be available as a PDF on demand. You can just type in the question bar to request a copy. Feel free to ask any questions. We'll have a session time at the end to answer them in real time. So you can see the interface here, just click and type in your questions. If we're not able to get to them in real time, we will follow up with you in writing and get back with you. All right, so with that, let us begin. So we at uBlocks provide a comprehensive one-stop shop solution. Just to give you an overview of our company and our organization, we are offering the solutions that are essential for applications in the Internet of Things, that being wireless communication via cellular networks, via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, offering satellite-based positioning and the data services to establish the communication, and to add additional functionality or services for location and security. We are a true one-stop shop for such solutions, and we're unique in our capability to provide these solutions from silicon to cloud. And now in this webinar, we're going to focus in more closely in the services product center of uBlocks. And in services, we aim to make it easy to connect and locate everything. And we want to offer these services in combination with our products in positioning, short range, and cellular in order to boost their functionality, overcome the challenging conditions that are faced, and to solve the problems of complexity, cost, and availability. We do this in three key areas, and these are communication, location, and security as a service. Now today we're going to zero in on the topic of IoT location services, that cloud right there in the middle, and how these services either assist, augment, or provide positions in those challenging environments. And as you know, there's just enormous growth in the number of connected devices globally. And a vast portion of those IoT devices need location information in order to do their job. Some of them require high precision positioning, and others a rough estimate is going to do. And that's what we're going to talk about in more detail today. GNSS users expect instant position information, and this can be challenging in adverse conditions. And this is where assistance services or correction augmentation services are essential. Cost and energy consumption can be important factors. And so with that, our vision for location as a service is to provide reliable and fast location information and deliver accurate assistance and error correction data for constrained IoT devices, even in those challenging conditions, with the highest levels of availability and delivery quality. Now, within the location services framework, we offer, as I said earlier, two families of products: those that provide a position, a product such as CellLocate, and CloudLocate, which we will talk about today, and those which assist in those services, such as Assist Now and other things we have coming near in the future. For CloudLocate, we recently announced this service. It's fully available on the shelf and ready to go. And so that's what we want to provide more information for you today. And so with that, I will hand over to Giovanni. Giovanni, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Patty. Hello, everybody. Let me present myself and also including my face. I'm Giovanni Solito, the product owner of CloudLocate, and so I'm in charge of the roadmap and the development of this service. And today I will guide you through the description of the market challenges, of the benefits, a technical overview, and also the pricing as well. Well, if you look into the traditional asset tracking, you can see on the left side that there are some use cases like sport, where very frequent updates are needed and where you expect a battery life to last 1 day or a bit more. As you move into different tracking areas, like the one in the middle, for example, people, you need different update rates, maybe once an hour, and battery should last few days or a little bit more. Finally, as you move on the right, you will figure out that for asset tracking, it's not necessary to have such frequent updates, but you expect to have a very long battery life, to few years or more. Next slide, please. Now, let's have a look at the whole set of problems. You can see different level of tracking has different update rates and different performance. On the x-axis, you have update rate and accuracy, and on the y-axis, we have battery life. As you move onward to less frequent updates, so from left to right, the expectation is obviously that you have much long battery life. And what we know is that several industrial IoT applications are using low power networks, and therefore they cannot use traditional approach to Gnss. Even looking at that area that you see on the label that has snapshot Gnss, so in the red circle, there are a lot of markets that benefit of this kind of solution, like supply chain, logistic, inventory management, cold chain management, and so on. The expectation is again to have a long battery life, over than 2 years, and again, a low frequency update. That is important to point out now, that you don't need the position information in the device, and you are not doing any kind of navigation, and neither you don't need continuous tracking. Next slide, please. Well, let's try to see which is the main use case for CloudLocate. Again, we are talking about battery operated devices which are expected to have a very large power autonomy, and they have internet connectivity, of course, at least one way in uplink direction, and then it is required a reasonable position accuracy. We'll see later what we mean with that. So again, it's not high precision type of tracking. And again, location information is not used on the device itself, but is used by the cloud service. Thanks, Patty. You can now have
yes. We're going to have a poll. Okay, so attention, we're going to ask you 3 questions during this webinar, and here comes the first. All right, please answer according to your application. We'll just give it a few moments for everyone to make a decision. All right, and now let me share. It looks like a majority, at least, who have answered have voted below 2 meters or within 2 to 5 meters. All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that information. And now let's continue.
Thanks. So let's have a look now at the service and also including a bit of vision. CloudLocate is a service that has a principle in mind. Whatever measurement you will feed into it, the service will be able always to get a position. Really, this is the core at the heart of CloudLocate service. So you don't need to use a different service for each technology. So the main idea here in this picture that you see is that there is a device that is able to provide some measurement, and those measurements are sent to CloudLocate, and CloudLocate will provide a position for the enterprise in the cloud. They can be GNSS measurement or cell IDs from cellular networks, or also Wi-Fi scan or Bluetooth beacons. Well, today we will take a look about the first one. So we'll talk about GNSS measuring process, and in the next month you will be invited to see further progress. Next slide. If you look at the standard solution, which is like a GNSS standalone solution, we have a receiver, we have a two-way communication, since usually you want to send assisted data down to the receiver in order to get a short time to first fix. And of course, you do that. To do that, you must have a network connectivity that is actually capable to deliver that data to the receiver. And of course, that data, the data cost need to be taken into account as well. Next slide. Well, in CloudLocate, we really change the paradigm. We just use the receiver as a measurement device, and then we send the measurement to the cloud, and the cloud will calculate the position and make it available to the enterprise of the customer. Now you can see here that the connectivity goes only one way, so only uplink is necessary. There is no need to have downlink in this architecture, and payload can be from 12 to 50 bytes when using the new GNSS new protocol. So it's a very, very compelling offer. Now we have the next poll.
Great, the next poll, all right. Second question, let me get it queued up and launch. In your application, where is the location information used? In the device, in the cloud, or in both the device and the cloud? Please place your votes. Let us know where your application is using the location information. We'll give a few more seconds for the answers to come in, and then we will share results. Okay, Giovanni and everyone, it looks like almost half are using that information in the cloud, followed by 35% in both the device and cloud, and the remaining in the device.
Thanks, very interesting, really. Well, let's have a look at which are the main benefits that we see in this service. First of all, the main one is power autonomy. You can see on the left side that under the same condition for a standalone receiver and for the CloudLocate solution, we can go down to 10% of the total power, again under the same condition. So for instance, we will see later in nominal condition, we can get a fix already in 1 second. There will be some very interesting figures to show to you. As always, accuracy and energy consumption is a trade-off. You can decide to make longer measurement to achieve a better accuracy at the expense of battery consumption. The important thing to understand is that the device is not sending multiple messages to CloudLocate server to achieve a better accuracy, because this would waste energy. But what you do is to keep the receiver switched on for a longer time to obtain more and better measurements, and then you can send the whole measurement in one message to the CloudLocate service. But again, this is configurable by you, and it's up to you to decide which is the right trade-off depending on your use case. As we said, we believe we provide a reasonable position accuracy for most applications, definitely under 10 meters in median, and I believe that below 10 meters is really acceptable for several use cases. Next slide. We also discussed the fact that CloudLocate can enable new business. Well, we know that GNSS is not be used in many design and solution because of the constraint of power. And we believe that CloudLocate enable more use cases, making the business sustainable, because again, the device can stay in the field for more time without battery recharging or battery replacement. Moreover, important to note, CloudLocate is globally available and is delivered over the ThinkStream platform, and so it works with every technology, LPWA, Cat1, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, proprietary technology. Really, we are make available this service on every connectivity technology. And finally, we believe that you can reduce the cost, the operating cost, by extending the device service life cycle thanks to a new power autonomy gain. Next slide. Well, I decided to dedicate a unique slide to something that I believe is very important for every company that wants to run a profitable business. We deliver a fully warranted and supported service, and also a premium support is available, including a tailored service level agreement based on your needs. So you must be worried about the service. We can really support you every time. And finally, very important, all service leverage an in-house technology, so there are no external dependencies, and this is true for CloudLocate as well, and of course for all the services that we are delivering. And again, all services are consistent across our family of products. We can now have a look in the next slide at a very brief recap of what we just said. Again, the benefits are power autonomy, up to 10 saving in battery. We can enable new business. We deliver the solution globally with multiple technologies. We can reduce the cost, and we deliver a warranted and supported service. Now, let's have a look at the technology behind CloudLocate. I think it's very important to you to know how we decided to implement this kind of solution. Next slide. Well, if you look at the snapshot positioning technology, you can see that basically there are two ways of doing that. One is signal capturing, so the first piece, the first arrow, and the other one is measure and process, or signal processing, the second one. In this solution, the GNSS signal after the capturing is also processed, and then the data is delivered to the cloud, where the cloud service is in charge to make the position estimation. And u-blox decided to implement the signal processing technology. This is supported nowadays by M8, M9, and M10 u-blox GNSS, whereas of course M10 GNSS has the benefit of having the smaller message payload, while M8 and M9 only support for now the MESAX message that is a little bit larger in terms of payload. We will see more details later. Let's dig into the reason why we decided for signal processing technology for CloudLocate. Well, signal capturing, so again, the first solution, implies only few milliseconds to capture the signals. It requires very, very small time in which keeps the receiver switched on, but the trade-off, and it's really important, is that the payload to be sent to the cloud is going to be much higher. We are speaking about a couple of kilobytes. And so you need a suitable data plan. You need to consider the cost of that data plan. And of course, you are going to waste battery in transmitting data. On the other hand, what we have chosen is for CloudLocate is again signal processing, where you have to switch on the receiver for a little bit longer time, at least 1 second, but the extreme benefit is that you can use smaller, much smaller payload, and this really implies a saving of battery and money, of course, as well. So let's have a look now at the M10 Snapshot Technology. I assume that most of you knows that M10 is the newest GNSS receiver that will be available in production soon. We have now some engineering samples available. And you can see that what we do is a call start whenever a position is required. We then keep GNSS switched on for a time that can be from 1 to 10 seconds, and then we create a message that can be 20, 12, 20, or 50 bytes long, depending on the configuration. We send then the message to the host, and the host sends it to the cloud that calculates the position, and the position can then be retrieved by your customer application. It's extremely simple, no complexity behind it, no need to download any asynchronous data to shorten the time to first fix. Again, it's extremely simple solution. Well, you will see that 12 bytes is a payload that fit Sigfox solution, fixed Sigfox connectivity, 20 byte fits the LoRaWAN connectivity, and 50 bytes is for every kind of connectivity. Next slide, please. If your current fleet is composed by M8 or M9 u-blox GNSS, well, there is no reason to wait. You can leverage the MESIX message that, as you know, is public. It's compliant to RRLP protocol for location service, and therefore you can use CloudLocate also with third-party GNSS. But of course, this implies more work for you because you need to develop a solution to transfer the measurement provided by the third-party GNSS to a MESIX message. And these require effort, time, and of course, it's a cost. So what we suggest is really to use u-blox hardware because our hardware is optimized in this sense. We have the last poll now.
Okay, great. The last poll, let me cue it up. Which connectivity technology or technologies are you using in your IoT application? Please select which you recognize here that you're using or desire to use. And we'll give a few moments remaining for the answers. Okay, I'm going to close the poll now and let's share the results. Looks like most, 78%, are choosing a cellular technology, NB-IoT, LTE-M, or higher Cat LTE, followed by 41% Bluetooth. So we have multiple answers for various applications. All right.
Well, that's very interesting. thanks to everybody. Well, now it's important to look at the main benefit, that is the power consumption. And this is the main benefit that we are delivering with such kind of service. There are a few slides that clarify this benefit. First column is the traditional solution over Cat-M1 network without any assistance. It is the highest value because the time to first fix requires around 45 seconds, during which the receiver shall stay switched on. Well, of course, you can significantly improve the power consumption figures when you use assistance like uBlock's Assist Now service. But if you compare a solution with assistance against CloudLocate, so the red box, we can see that CloudLocate is 50% more efficient, assuming that we are in the right condition for CloudLocate, of course. In this example, we are getting, you see it on the top, we are getting 6 position updates per day. The good fit for CloudLocate is up to 12 position per day. It's doable with till 24 position per day, so once per hour. If you need more frequent update, well, we need to have a look and analyze the solution. Come back to the previous slide, sorry. Okay, thanks. Well, let's have a look at from a different angle. Starting from the right side of the graph. Well, I've previously mentioned that one of the benefits is that we can enable new business. Why we say that? If we compare a pure connectivity solution, that is the column on the right side, we see that CloudLocate adds only 10% in terms of power consumption. So wherever you have a device with connectivity, and I mean, this is the baseline for every IoT business, you can probably also add the location information, adding just a few power consumption of top. And again, achieving a very good position accuracy. Now, the next slide. So you remember the previous slide shows some figures having as a baseline the fixed number of position update per day at 6. A similar measurement has been done changing this parameter, so going from 1 to 24 location requests per day. This time as a baseline, we have narrowband IoT technology without Gnss. This is the red line. And on top of that, we have the CloudLocate solution. Please be aware that the y-axis is logarithmic. And on top of that, the green line, we have a traditional GNSS position technology. And you see that the power consumption goes much higher. So there is indeed the saving in terms of battery usage when using CloudLocate solution. You see that for yellow line, there is 3 seconds as parameter. This is the time when the time for the measure. So we keep the receiver switched on for 3 seconds. Let's see why in the next slide. Here we have a set of measures in nominal condition, and you can really see that the accuracy is not really bad. So on the y-axis, we have the accuracy. On the x-axis, we have the number of measurements or the time in which the receiver shall stay switched on, from 1 to 10. You see that even with 1 second, we can achieve a really good accuracy, about 6 meters in median. And if you keep the receiver switched on for a longer time, you can arrive till 2 to 3 meters. So very, very good. I think it's quite in line with your answer in the first poll. And as you see, if you switch on the receiver for more than 3 seconds, you reach more or less the intrinsic limit of the system. And so there is really no need in many use cases to do that. 3 seconds here is enough. Just a remark again, multiple measure does not mean that the client sends multiple messages to CloudLocate service to obtain every time a more accurate position. It means that the receiver stays switched on more time, gets more measure, and once done, the receiver is switched off and the host sends the output to CloudLocate service in one single message to provide a unique position. Okay, now let's have a look at the summary of the benefit of the technical advantages. So again, all main connectivity technologies are supported. Just a remark, we support Sigfox, LoRaWAN, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and every cellular technology. So only uplink connectivity is required. Location where you need in the cloud. We have seen from the previous poll that most of you need the position only in the cloud. Very important, no need for assistance data. So you can save again in battery consumption and in data consumption, and so it's in cost. I can assure you, and you can experiment by yourself, that the integration effort is very low. We will have a demo for that later on. Very low bandwidth required. Very important, especially if you are talking about connectivity like NB-IoT, Sigfox, LoRaWAN, where the bandwidth is very low. It's an ultra low power technology. We support all the constellation, and again, the accuracy is in the range of 3 meters in median. So very good for most of the applications. I hope that it was clear enough. We provide very important advantages to this with this service. Again, it's not a service for every season, but it's very useful for many use cases. Now we are going to show, with the support of Hamed, a demo that will explain to you how to get started with the service. Hamed, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Giovanni. So if we can just make me presenter, Patty, please. I hope that we can see my screen with my browser.
Yes.
Thank you. So hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Hamed CSC, Services Solution Architecture Team. And in the next 10 minutes, roughly, I'm going to show you the Gnss delivery platform, how you can create a location thing, and how you can test CloudLocate, both as a standalone service and also as a premium extension on top of one of communication services. My goal is to demonstrate how simple and easy it is to test the service, to evaluate the service. Well, Gnss is our delivery platform, and we provide all our services, including CloudLocate, via Gnss. So everything starts with the Gnss login. If you don't have the account, it is very easy to create one. It's just a matter of some minutes, actually. You have to enter your email address, choose a domain name, an email will be sent to you. You need to actually verify it that it's your email address, and you are done. And once you got your credentials, sign in, and this is the dashboard. So on ThingsStream, we provide a lot of features, device management. It is actually also our broker, cloud visual programming, billing, and etc. But our focus today is our location services here. And if I go there, I can add a location thing. This location thing could be a cell locator assist. Now that they are separate services from uBlocks, our focus is today on cloud locating. So I would like to add a cloud locate thing. Well, test thing. Let's create a test thing. Well, here you should select a plan associated to this thing. One way that I suggest you is to test the service, go for developer plan, so you can have 100 requests and it is free. But if you want, you can choose another plan, and yeah, Giovanni will explain the plans as well. You can also change the plan during that you are using your device. Let's activate our new device. So this is my a new location thing or cloud locating. What are the information that I got here? Well, I have the details of my location thing, like the ID and yeah, the credentials. We are going to take a look at that. The activity of the device for now, it's never seen, and also the credentials. These are actually the credentials we need to add to our client in order to authenticate itself to the broker. One important thing here is the permissions. Here you can see that there are two paths. As you notice, we provide CloudLocate on top of Mqtt service. So if you want to use to request for this service, in other words, if your device wants to send the measurements, it should publish or push the measurements into this path, into this topic, in other words. On the other hand, if your enterprise part wants to receive the location, the result of the service, it should subscribe or listen to this path. I'm going to show you both of them. So here I got two shell open. One of them, if this one, for example, is representing your enterprise part, and this is the code for that. I will show you this code. These are actually sample codes that you can find in our website as well. I will show you that. The point here is that, as you can see, this guy is actually listening to this path. You can see if you are here interested to listen to only one device, you can add the device ID here. But if you want to actually receive the information of all your devices, you can just add a plus here, and it means that I want to listen to all devices. Let's run this one. Cloud subscribe. So this is subscribe, this is your enterprise, and it is actually listening to this topic here. Let's come to our field, to our device here. The thing, the testing device that we have created, it has its own credentials. As I said, these are the credentials that device should authenticate itself to the ThingsStream delivery platform. So in the sample code here, I need to add these credentials, device ID, username and password, and the host name is the Mqtt ThingsStream. What is this code is actually doing is that it is sending the measurements. I'm going to show you the measurements, the sample measurements, and it is pushing these measurements to this path on the cloud every 15 seconds. it's only to demonstrate the service for the demo purpose. So let me just run it and see if Python Cloud and Publisher. So this is actually the message that the measurements that I'm pushing to the CloudLocate. This is the field part, if you want, and this is what the enterprise part will receive, which is listening to that topic. Well, let me stop it so that I can have some time to explain it for you. So this is actually the message that it is receiving, the location. You push, you feed the measurements, X measurements, and on the other hand, you receive the location part. This is the whole story of CloudLocate. This is the location, you can see it, and the timestamp. And you can, then in the headers, you will receive actually these paths that you can see here. It first says that the information is like related to the CloudLocate thing. This is the ID of the device that you're receiving the location. And this is the quality of the service in the concept of the Mqtt quality of the service. But what are these measurements? I said here that I'm sending these measurements. Let me show you. So this is actually the dictionary, if you're familiar with Python, that I'm pushing to the broker. Inside the body, I have a bunch of the bytes, and they are actually the measurements that I have captured before using M9 Explorer kit. These are only the X measurements. I have used M9, but you can use M8 or M10 as mentioned by Giovanni. And I timestamped them if I want to, for example, if I want to store them sometimes inside my device and send them after to my cloud site. So I run this again, and let's take a look at the thing here. So on the cloud part, you can see that, well, the status, it is connected. And if I click here, we can see the activity of my devices. Yes, it has recently sent 3 measurements, and your device is using the CloudLocate developer plan. You can also have the details of, for example, the size and the timestamp of messages, and etc. So this is how you can actually use the CloudLocate as a standalone service. You have your device or devices in the field. They send the measurements to the things stream, and on the enterprise you receive the location. As simple as easy as this. But there is another way to use the service. Let me stop this and show you the other way. In this scenario, we don't want to use CloudLocate as a standalone thing. We would like to have it as a feature or as a premium extension thing on top of Mqtt communication services. So what you do here is that you need to actually create a Mqtt thing, which is as simple as an Mqtt client, and you receive the credentials as we have seen, and you can download and add them there. I have already put them inside my client, so this one here. So if I run this script, so every 30 seconds it is sending 1 measurements. So we can see here, yeah, that this MMP thing is sending its live and it is sending its measurements. But now it is actually providing us this flexibility, how to deal with the data that it is coming to the field. And that's exactly why we have flows in the things stream. Flows are like a visual cloud programming, if you want. So flows, and I show you the flow here. Well, the flow is basically created from a listener. This is if you want like subscriber to a topic, and it is the listener, and each time that you push something to the topic that the listener is listening to, it will trigger the whole flow and it will be executed once. So I have here my CloudLocate listener, which is listening to the topic that I have created. And here you can find a CloudLocate thing, sorry, node, and you can just drag and drop it here. And it is actually, this node is providing the CloudLocate service. You can find the information here, how should be a structure of the input and how is the actually the output of the CloudLocate node. You can also debug it. Here you can see that in the input of the node, we are receiving a bunch of bytes. These are actually the measurements coming from the field. And in the output of the node, we have the measurements here. We have, sorry, the location of the device here. Now, on the output, you got the location. It's up to you what you want to do with it. We provide you a wide range of opportunities. If you want, you can push it somewhere else. If you want, you can just send an email with this information, or an HTTP post, SMS, whatever you want. You got this information, you can just send it anywhere that you want. For example, here I'm sending it to an email, and yeah, all these nodes are actually quite configurable. It's a matter of just JavaScript writing some code here. So to just summarize, we have seen how we can use, in matter of minutes actually, CloudLocate both as a standalone thing. There is a fixed topic that you should that device should push the measurements to that topic, and yeah, on the other hand, in the enterprise, you will receive the location. And you can use CloudLocate as a premium extension on top of Mqtt. Then you have the whole flexibility of using the cloud, the flows. One thing that I would like to show you is the documentation here. So if you come to the documentation, please note that this is public. In order to access to the documentation, you don't need to have the Gnss account even. Location as a service, CloudLocate, and go here, getting started. CloudLocate getting started. This is actually what we have seen together, starting from how to add a location thing, how to actually get the credentials, going down to the flow that we have seen together, the example of, if you want to test the service, there is a sample measurements that you can use it. So just in a matter of minutes, you will be able to test the service. Also, sample codes, the same codes that I have used in the demo are provided here. So yeah, I think that it should be a matter of minutes in order to test the service. So back to you, Patty.
All right. Thanks very much, Giovanni. Interesting, or pardon me, Ahmed. Interesting that many of the questions that I saw in the panel were answered by your demo.
Well, this slide is about actually the documentation and how you can get started. We have seen the documentation part and how you can actually sign up to Gnss IoT service delivery platform. Maybe the last thing that I would like to mention is about the evaluation kit and the hardware. So to evaluate the service, you can use any u-blox GNSS module supporting Mqtt. Actually, you have seen that in the demo, I have used M9, but also M8 and M10 are supported. In this case, an Explorer kit could be an option, good option for you. On the other hand, you can actually rely on one of u-blox cellular modules, then AVK of R510 M8 could be a good option. which is a LTE-M module plus M8 GNSS. Thank you so much. Back to you, Giovanni.
Thanks. So the last part, so last slide is dedicated really to something that is very important for the service, that is the pricing. First of all, you see that the pricing is public. There is the link at the top of the slide, so you can see it at any time. There are two ways to access to the service, as shown by Hamed. First one, if you want only the location, no need for connectivity, well, the fleet monthly plans is the right choice for you. You can test the service using the developer plan that allow you up to 3 location things, and then scale up to your preferred plan depending on the use case. You see, for example, that we have the first paid plan is 50K request for $20 per month, and then you move to, if you are doing an average, overage, well, the price is shown in the picture. And then it's the same for the other plans. If you need more than 1 million requests per month, just contact us and we will set up a discussion to see which is the right pricing for you. If instead you are interested also in connectivity, so look at the bottom of the slide. We can provide the location as a premium extension. This is the pricing on top of a communication as a service plan. We have no time to explain this today, but you know that we are providing also connectivity for several technologies. Just have a look at our communication as a service web pages. And this is essentially the flow that has been shown to you by Hamed. Okay, hope everything is clear. Now I would like to dedicate some time to the several questions that we received. So that's good, seems that you are interested in the service. I have no time to go through all the questions, but please feel free to drop a question to our main email for support. You will find it on the ThinkStream portal. Okay, first of all, regarding the slides, maybe Patty, you can put in the chat which is the way to request the slide. So, but yes, they are public, we can provide to you. Let me go to some of these. Well, M7 is not supported. The first device, uBlocks GNSS that can support is M8 and above. Again, remember that with M10 we can provide you can use also the compact messages that are provide a lot of saving. Recording of this webinar, please, Patty, put in the chat the link. You can always look at the recording of the webinar from tomorrow, I believe. There is a section in our sites where you can see all the recorded webinars. But there is another question. It is possible to send data from an external cloud service, such AWS? Not yet. I mean, this is what we call service-to-service solution. We are planning for that because we received several requests in that sense. So this is something that will come in the next month. Nowadays, if you want to use CloudLocate as a service, you need to use the current approach. But I mean, it will come in short time, let's say. Is there a PKI certificate to access CloudLocate over Mqtt? No, because we are using our Mqtt technology and SIM to identify the device. So there is no need to manage certificates. Well, I still have a lot of time. F9, can I use F9? Yes, should be, because all 8 and 9 release technology are supported. There is another question: can the GNSS receiver provide decimeter precision GNSS? No, unfortunately not. This is not the use case that we are addressing with CloudLocate. The accuracy that we can receive is, as you see, between 2 and 3 meters. This is at the moment the state of the art. If you need better accuracy, you can look at our portfolio of high precision. There will be in the future also a dedicated webinar for high precision services. Okay, let me see. Okay. Yeah, there is several questions about how we compare against Semtech. Well, let me say, first of all, if you look at the pricing, we are quite competitive. So we are really providing a compelling offering also in terms of pricing. And also in regard of the service, we support, as you see, multiple technology. So we don't have here any slide that looks that shows any real comparison, but my answer is that we can support more use cases than that. What is the protocol of 1250 bytes sent from GNSS receiver? What is the protocol of, okay, regarding the protocol, well, the M10 device is able to produce a message that is much shorter than the actual Mqtt. As I've shown, Mqtt minimum amount, minimum payload is 170 bytes. That is good for many use cases, but not for all. The reason is that Mqtt is composed by a header that is 44 bytes long, and then you have 24 bytes for every satellite, and you need at least 5 satellites. There is no different protocol with the compact message. I mean, the logic behind is exactly the same, but the GNSS is able to produce a different type of message, a different payload that is, as I said, 12, 20, and 50 bytes. As you can imagine, well, the capabilities of this message are a little bit different. 12 byte is the right fit for 6FOX technology, but you need to know in advance which is the constellation to be used. So there will be a way to set on the server side the constellation used by the receiver. For 20 bytes, well, it's not needed to know it in advance, but the message will get only information from one type of constellation. So you can choose the best constellation at every time, while for 50 message, you can mix multiple constellation. But again, it's not a different logic, not a different protocol, it's only a different type of message sent by the client, by your device, to the CloudLocate. The logic will be exactly the same. How long the signal capture time is minimum? It is possible within several milliseconds. No, again, we decided to go, as I said, with the signal processing technology. If you remember, there is a slide for that. What you are saying is the signal capture technology, but remember that your payload will be in the range of 2 kilobytes, and we decided not to go into this solution because we believe that is better the signal processing technology, again, because you can obtain multiple saving in terms of power consumption and data usage. I think we are more or less at the end. I will use the last minute to remember you that if I was not able to answer to your question, please get in touch with me. In the platform, there is a support email. Just drop an email there and with the question that you have, and I will be in contact with you, or scheduling a dedicated meeting or directly answering to your question. I really apologize that we have no time to answer to all your interesting questions.
Okay, thank you. And at our last moments of the webinar, I want to thank you for your attention and invite you to follow up on our webpage to read our latest white paper. It was published on May 10th, and the topic is low power GPS for tracking applications. Includes some thoughts about using CloudLocate. So there it is under company, white paper, May 10th, read more. And of course, the hyperlink is here. So I thank everyone for your attention. It was a robust webinar, and I wish you a good day.